Welcome back to Morning at 10 TV. My name is Mala Kivila Odera. Now today we are having a discussion around how we can provide energy solutions to refugees in the different settlements. What is being done to make their livelihoods better, enable students in those different areas to, be able to be normal students, read through the night and stuff like that. So in studios to talk about that and so much more is Esteri Cabonero, who is the managing director of POA Limited. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you for having me.
You are doing amazing things as POA Limited. Congratulations on that. When did you start?
We started in 2017 of last year. And really our goal and mission was to provide energy access in the country to people who don't have access to grid power, especially in Uganda, which now the percentage is only 20% who have access.
20%?
Yes.
All right. So when you started off, what was the flagship campaign?
Yes, so we started off looking at a underserved community, and we pinpointed Bidi Bidi refugee settlement as that community. Especially during early 2017, the refugee settlements in northern Uganda saw a lot more South Sudanese coming in. So there wasn't a lot of resources available, especially in these remote areas where even the grid doesn't reach.
Right.
So we decided, okay, as a team, let's go up there and see what we can provide. And after looking and seeing their health situation, their education situation, we saw that energy could really be a key to their socio-economic transformation. So we went to schools and decided we really wanted to focus on school children and providing lighting for them to read at night, for them to be able to continue their schoolwork, especially for girls who usually do chores right after school.
Right.
So they'll be doing their homework afterwards at night. So through the campaign, we're able to provide now 300 school children with lighting access. Yes, so we're looking to expand the project to reach a lot more people as well.
All right. Okay. So when you say 300 students,
yes,
you also mentioned that there's a health risk to it for them not, accessing clean energy solutions.
Yes.
So what was that like when you went on ground?
Yes, so especially in the refugee settlements, when people don't have access to basic lighting, they're forced to either use open flames, they're forced to use kerosene. It's a cheaper alternative and it's the only one there. So in terms of health, there was a study that said that inhaling smoke is a killer more than malaria, more than HIV/AIDS. And these kids are just trying to study at night, but they're breathing these harmful alternatives.
Right. Wow. So at least we have 300, children in the different homes, be able to. What happens to the others? Because I'm thinking if it's just 300, what happens to the other homes, the other children in the in the community? Is it that what you expected the campaign to bring on board, you did actually achieve the target? What exactly happened?
Yeah. So we're starting off with 300 as a pilot, and we really want to see what can impact that could come from that. So to really bring in other partners, we want to show how many more hours can a student be able to study at night because of these lighting? How many people can be removed from all these harmful alternatives and into better solar solutions, into healthier alternatives. So while this is a pilot, we're looking to definitely expand because in Bidi Bidi alone, there's 300,000 people.
Because I can imagine, and you were able to just reach 300. Now, out of the 300 that you were able to reach out to, was it out of goodwill from different stakeholders, or it was just purely financed by POA Limited?
So, so Power Limited, of course, put in money, but our working partners like Stanbic Bank, MTN Foundation were some of the companies that contributed to the lighting campaign. So we're always looking for new companies to come on board who share in our vision and to provide these school children with basic lighting just for reading.
All right. So you have plans to, cut across and to reach all the refugees in Bidi Bidi.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's move on to something that happened last week, and it's a great milestone for POA Limited. I think my director has this video. Let's take a look.
Philip, I don't know.
As you start this kind of initiatives, you need to sustain these initiatives. Yes, we'll go ahead and continue to monitor activities of Power Hub, but I would like to encourage the government of Uganda, the private sector, the NGOs, and even individuals, friends, family, have fundraising activities to make sure that you support the young lady.
We were able to provide 300 school children with access to lighting. So we believe that lighting could increase better health, better education, and security. As we dived further into the energy needs, we began to see that solar for productive use was needed. And that is where the Power Hub began.
But I want to challenge Power Hub to engage more deeply in other forms of investment, which will create jobs and also enhance your revenues.
We envision this hub to advance livelihoods, providing resources, just like Mary had said, to create income generating activities. It has already been documented that those in the refugee settlements that have the greatest self-reliance are the ones that are connected to the local community outside of the refugee settlements, inside the Ugandan community. So without electricity, basic connectivity, as well as information is not realized, which hurts potential small businesses.
Giving light, especially, I think that time you are talking of helping, the communities in Bidibidi, to access light, for reading in particular. And of course, as we all know, I mean, access to light creates, as I said earlier on, a huge impact because of its nature. I mean, children will be able to read at night so they can actually revise.
And we thank you and congratulate you again for the hard work.
How was it like? I know there are many SMEs out there who, before we get to what this will mean for Nachivale refugee settlement, yes. How was it like getting to that space, and what is that motivation factor for you, for just pushing it hard to ensure that these people, the refugees, have a better livelihood and actually access, clean energy solutions? What was it like for you, Esteri?
Yes, so with the Power Hub, we're really trying to create a solution where people can become self-reliant, where it's, when you provide energy, you provide access to basic trainings, you provide access to, for people who are doing business with mobile money, they can now charge their phones, they could have connectivity, communication, access to internet access. Because when that is available, people know information pricing.
Right.
People know market pricing. A lot of times refugees don't know the price of certain crops, and so they can be cheated. And so when we create sort of a self-reliance ecosystem, it can enable people to create their own income generation. So that's why we're looking at this. While it is a solar solution, it grows more into that. It's something that can develop people to create their own income. And that's why we think this program, this flagship Power Hub, can really change lives, not only the refugee settlement, but all across Uganda.
Where is this passion coming from as Esteri? Why solar or energy solutions? Why that, and why the refugees?
Yeah, so I have a business background, so I was never really into solar energy, really until I explored the energy sector and understood that energy is kind of the root and the basic building block for anything. You need energy for health, you need it for agriculture, you need it for ICT. Basically, it crosses all sectors.
Right.
And you can't move on as a community and go into middle income status when there's no basic energy. So the passion goes into development. Really, how do we get our communities moving forward?
Okay, all right. We are also joined by Mr. Philip Muchunguzi, who is the Finance Director of Power Limited. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about the grant that you were able to get as Power Limited, the $25,000 US just for this particular Power Hub. What does that mean, and what do you, how many people do you expect to reach in Nachivale, district, or Nachivale refugee settlement, beg your pardon?
Okay, we're hoping the $25,000 can be a start to something big, something that can expand to the whole refugee camp and maybe a few more other refugee camps and the country as a whole, because we are blessed by the equator.
Right.
So we have abundance of sun all throughout the year. We might as well use that as our greatest resource, if I can put it that way. So the hub, like she said, once it's set up in Nashi Valley, it will be, I don't know if you're familiar with the story of Mwati. The government, through the Prime Minister's office, gave people in Nashi Valley a chance to generate income by giving them land. So we're hoping that this can have the same impact by giving them access to information, education, so they can also find ways of generating their own income.
So how many people do you look into, touching lives for?
As many as we can, because the hub should be mobile, so
right.
it should be going across the camp. So whoever has access to it should be able to utilize it.
All right, okay. Let's talk about the sustainability of this particular project. We know tech things have a lifespan to it as well, and so especially now that every community will be able to access it, now that it's going to be a mobile kind of ICT hub moving to every single settlement, what is the plan moving forward to ensure that it's always up to speed, we don't have breakdowns, and if we do, then we have instant repairs and stuff like that, the sustainability in the long run?
Yeah. The great thing about solar is that you really don't even need to be connected to the grid whatsoever.
Right.
It's going to be self-sustainable in that aspect, where no matter, even if it's the most remote area, solar will be able to power all of the computers, all of the phone charging access. So in terms of also looking at how we're going to be able to sustain in the long run, solar panels last 20 years, right? And even the infrastructure itself, we're creating sort of a business model where people could even pay for printing or pay to use the internet access, even the staff and local community. So while we're also looking to employ refugees as well in these hubs to also create that sort of ecosystem where we're looking for it to be localized. Yeah, we're looking to see that, okay, the only real big cost will be the salaries that are going to go into the power hub and then the maintenance of it. And luckily, everything is with solar lasts quite a long time. So in terms of maintenance fees and in terms of salaries, it could be quite sustainable in that aspect.
Okay, all right. So salaries, how many people do you look into employing in this particular power hub, and the fact that it's going to be movable, to what regions will it move to? Because I'm also looking into the people who you're going to employ. Are they going to be will you provide accommodation, or at the end of the day they'll have to go back to their to their areas, to their homes? What's the plan moving forward in terms of your resource, the resource you're going to employ?
Okay, the beauty about it is that the refugees are the ones who are going to work in the power hub. So to give them a chance to earn a bit of income and at the same time educate their fellow refugees as well. So we weren't really going to hire outside help. We wanted it to be an in-house thing where everyone benefits. So if it moves to the next set, another set of refugees can take over and earn a bit of money, and the system keeps going on like that.
All right.
Yes.
So what's the training program like? Because if then you have to, get different sets of employees to work in the different, locations where you're going to move to, what's the training plan like? Because you have to, of course, train them so they can be, have all the skills and knowledge on how to operate the power hub. What's the plan moving forward?
Yes. So the great part about this is that we're doing a pilot program, and so we're going to start off in Nashi Valley. In the zone that we're going to be going into will be announced in September. So with that, we're going to see actually how it's going to be moving on with that, and really study how do we provide this access? Who's the best for this specific job? And then also through training, we're going to be training people, and we're going to be actually partnering with an education implementation partner coming in the next couple of months to really see, okay, what are the skills that are needed for this? We also want to make this an entrepreneurial kind of livelihood activities hub. So we're looking to partner with NGOs who also train in livelihood programs. Through this Power Hub, we're looking to see how we can train even other people who are not going to be working within the hub, but teaching them how to create entrepreneurial skills, to be more self-reliant, using the resources that we have in the hub itself. So it could create a 360 kind of ecosystem where we're training people and they're going out and creating new innovations that could really create solutions for their communities.
So it will be like a mini school, mini mobile school.
In a way, if you think about it in that way.
All right, okay. Mr. Philip, you have been at the forefront on, you know, just ensuring that the finance bit of everything is in check. Yes. What does that mean on a day-to-day basis, especially with regards to this particular project? Is it purely on just, you know, giving back to the community, or is it, do we have a profitability aspect to it? And how do you expect to attain that, given that, you know, pretty much you'll be giving back to the community? Is it profits, or it's purely operational on an NGO principle?
Right now, at the model we are, it's really almost at an NGO level, because where would we make the profits if because we're still trying to sustain and we're trying to make sure that the refugees have better lives. So if they can innovate stuff or learn new skills, that's our profit for us as a company. We would have done the job that we had come to do. So then eventually we'll think of other ways of making profits.
What are these other ways? Have you sat down to look into it, just, you know, projecting the future and how it's going to be?
Yes, absolutely. With these power hubs, we're looking to expand it even within the health community, because one thing that's really interesting is that we're locally made. So it is made in Uganda, and we're looking to even sell it out to health facilities, to other education organizations out there.
This is selling the solar units?
Selling the actual construction, the power hubs, which can go into different sectors. So while this is going into the refugee settlement, we're looking at this as impact, how we're going to impact communities. While we are a for-profit company, we are also focused on social impact, how we can create an ecosystem where we could push communities forward. Because our main target is to really provide energy access in the country. So this is just a way that we're looking to provide impact, and we're also looking to partner with other organizations who can utilize this. It could even be utilized in homes and in rural areas.
So this power hub is pretty much going to be constructed by Power Limited?
Yes.
Purely?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And moving forward, what you're saying is what we already have, what we're going to have soon is going to be a pilot power hub. Exactly. And moving forward, we're going to have more distributed to the different regions.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about the different stakeholders that are on board for this particular project. I'm sure with the Power All campaign that took place last year, that was a different ballgame. Now for this one, what exactly is it and which stakeholders are on board for this?
Yes, so we received a grant from Trade and Development Bank, which is former PTA Bank. And we are actually their first CSR project. So they're really looking to expand their CSR, and they wanted to invest in Uganda. So we're fortunate enough to receive that grant to build this power hub. And so we're actually looking to bring in other stakeholders, because if you think of the power hub, it's more like an iPhone, which means that the iPhone was kind of like the construct, the product that brought in new applications, that brought in new innovations and technology. And so that's what we're trying to bring in, different stakeholders to form resources, to form sort of innovations that could spur the communities in which this product will go into. So the type of stakeholders we're really looking for either telecom operators, especially because it is an ICT kind of lab. And then further, we're looking for education partners who can come in and train refugees in livelihood advancement. Because we don't want it to be a run-of-the-mill kind of training facility. We want to actually go further into that, creating innovations within the refugee settlement to push the communities forward there.
Wow, okay. So I'm sure there's someone watching who is an SME as well and would want to get info on how you were able to actually win this grant, because I know it's a whole tedious process to get to that point. So what was the trick for you? Maybe we can start with you, who is in the numbers.
One, you have to make sure that what you the goal or your vision is impactful to not only just yourself but to the greater environment, the greater good, the country at a whole, the society as we know it, then it has to also make sense financially, because no one wants to give you a lot of money that's going to go to waste.
Right.
You have to show them that you can be accountable, you're going to use this for this, you're going to put this in this, and this is going to be the multiplier forward. And partners will jump on board knowing, okay, we're giving our money to the right people. So that's pretty much, for at least on the numbers part, you have to make sure that the money is going to be used very effectively.
And also when coming up with the amount of money that you want, maybe, you know, a finance company, for example, in your case it was a TBD.
Yes.
For you, what was that? Like, what should SMEs look into before they even quote what they want to be, you know, facilitated with, the amount of money they want? Because I know with the, you know, the interactions I've had with SMEs, they really don't know how to quote it. They really don't know how to get down to the number that they want to ask for. Even SMEs who want to go ask for loans, they just can't justify why they want X amount of money and not Y amount of money. So what was it for you? What parameters should an SME look into when they're coming up with the amount of money that they want to be facilitated with? Okay,
well, the numbers, like I said, should make sense, because if you quote, let's say, 20,000, okay, 50, I'll speak in the Ugandan currency since we're in Uganda, let's say 50 million Uganda shillings. I would ask you, what are you going to use the 50 million Uganda shillings for?
Right.
Yes. So you'd explain to me, I'm going to use this, I'm going to use 10 million to do this, I'm going to use 10 million to do that, or to set up a foundation, or all this there has to be explanations and tangible results to what the investment is going to bring. Now, like in our situation, many people are going to get education from the Power Hub.
Yes.
So they'll look at if we're going to spend 50 million, but the impact is going to generate future entrepreneurs, the marginalized community is going to be less because most of the problems they had in Nachi Valley is their interactions with the community were bad. So now, at least with education and all those things, these are problems that are being solved.
Right.
So like the social impact, if you can put a number on it, is much greater than what the 50 million or the 60 million that they've given you is going to do.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. All right. For you, Esther?
Yeah. And what I've also seen is exactly kind of what Philip was touching on, that sometimes SMEs put out a number without really the details that come into it, because people are giving you money, so they need to know exactly where it's going to go. You might say, yes, 50 million, but where is that going to go into? Is that going to go into your operations? Is that going to go into building your product? But in terms of that, I think if you have a very good proposal, a good idea, and you've studied it and understand it, researched where this certain idea is going to go, there's going to be people that are going to find you.
Yeah.
Exactly. 100%.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much for coming on the show. So we're expecting this would start operating when?
So we're starting construction.
Is it September?
Yes, we're starting construction in August.
Okay.
And then we're looking to send it to Nachi Valley at the end of September. Yes.
All right. Okay. So if you're in Nachi Valley, this is coming through for you. So look out for that. Thank you so much for making time, and congratulations once again. So we truly hope you wish you all the best. My name is Malaki Vilodera. That's all we had for you on Morning at 10 TV. The programming still continues. We have a live coverage for you, so be sure to tune in to that. Have a good day.